I hate to break the fishing news after Remchuk, but I'd like to speak about the ice hockey.
Congratulations, you're one of the 13 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
We just traded a migraine in for like an orgasm.
Might want to mark that down.
Yep.
All of my projects are on schedule until they're not.
A member of the Nation Network of Podcasts.
About as funny as we're going to get today.
Welcome in to episode 158 of the Real Life Podcast.
Did you choose a different language? You go welcome in?
What?
Did you say welcome or like welcome in? Like
welcome in to episode 158. I'm Tyler Remchuk. That's Jay. Wanye's here. Bagged Milk is here as well.
Were no Jason Strudwick this week.
Yeah, like German or Dutch or something.
Yeah, you love Leon Draisaitl, the leading scorer in the NHL.
We're all going to love him a little extra for the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, and I suppose that is a decent place to start. Obviously, earlier this morning, Connor McDavid, 2 to 3 weeks. He is out with a leg injury. The Oilers say it's not serious, but we've been fooled on that one before.
We've been tricked.
I'm not buying shit that they're saying after the summer.
Are you like legit? Like you don't believe that anything right now?
No. Nope. I don't believe a word that they're saying. He could come back in a week from now, and I'll still call them liars because they lied to us all.
Well, they would have. Yeah, they're saying 2 to 3 weeks right now. It might be 10 days. It might be a month. Like
I also admire it, though, because they were living the snitches get stitches lifestyle over the summer, which I respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like on TSN, Dusty said something about how like McDavid might be more serious, and he got like scolded from a member of the organization, being like, "You don't know that. That's not true." Blah blah. And it's like, well, it was true. I honestly, people were like, "Why is it anyone's business? Why does the media need to know what's happening with McDavid?"
What on earth? It's everyone's business.
And it's like, you know, it's one thing to just be like, we're evaluating him. It's another thing to like blatantly lie to your fans and be like, oh, the star player, he's all good. But I suppose that's another debate.
I get the off season because like if we would have got hit with how bad it was, like just think how we all would have reacted.
Oh,
like,
they were like,
I think they did that right.
We don't know how Connor's doing, but there's a 5-year special on season tickets right now. What on the actual?
Yeah. Do you think they're really screwed or just a little screwed or maybe even not screwed at all without him?
It's going to be a big test. Like, Leon, you need your Malkin moment right now. Carry the team. He's got to do it.
No, it's fair.
Same with Gaetan Haas.
Yeah, he's got to have his Malkin moments.
It's time to show.
If anybody can do it, Gaetan Haas can do it.
What we need is Jujar to have an out-of-body experience and completely become a different player, too.
Where is that guy gone?
I'm telling you, man, since he shaved the stash, he hasn't been the same.
You know what? The Oilers goalie coach. Damn it, Jujar, smash!
Yes.
My take on the McDavid injury is I'm just gonna accept with what they told us and say it's a quad injury. And what I think is they're being extremely precautionary because maybe that quad muscle is very important to the protection of his, real injury,
his PCL,
right? So maybe you have to let that muscle heal to make sure that it's doing its job to keep his knee stable and whatnot. So it might be like connected, but still not connected, and it's just like supremely precautionary.
Yeah, and I wouldn't blame them at all. I think if anything, the 2 to 3 weeks is their cautionary estimate. Like I'm sure,
just managing our
expectations. He finished the game. He skated on it at practice the other day. Like it can't be that severe, right? It's not like we hadn't seen him in a week and now they're coming out and being like, yeah, by the way, it's pretty bad. So I think the 2 to 3 weeks is them being very, very cautious, which they should be, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Like you'd rather have them be like, yeah, it's 2 to 3 weeks and have him back in 10 days than if they would have been like, he's day to day and we don't see him for a month.
And I assume he's going to be sleeping in a hyperbaric chamber for the next week or whatever.
Yeah, he will be in Gary Roberts' basement. I tweeted it.
He will do everything.
If McDavid comes back in less than 2 weeks, does Gary Roberts get thrown into the Hart Trophy conversation?
Yes,
because
absolutely.
I mean that's 2 pretty miraculous recoveries potentially in like a 9-month period. McDavid battles injuries. We battle Instagram.
Oh,
well said.
I'd say our struggle is worse.
Wow. Self-absorbed, but yeah.
Can we get a re-up on the timeline of everything that's happened for someone who knows?
It's a wild, wild ride. The Instagram.
End of January, Instagram got deleted for apparently no reason.
Impersonation.
We're impersonating your
rule of law.
And then we ran around in a circle and contacted everyone we could think of. And I faxed Zuckerberg on a secret home line only I know about, but sadly it went straight to trash. Then we got it back, last Tuesday?
For all of 12 hours.
Wednesday. It was Wednesday to Thursday, I believe.
Great 12 hours.
Yeah, it was
whatever caught us before to get us deleted, and it wasn't something to do with content. We're not quite sure what it was. Re-triggered, and that's also Oilersnation and Canucks Army went.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
For now.
there's something. Yeah, we just keep getting. They've got some kind of algorithm going around, and it's scanning, and it just keeps picking something up.
Zuckerberg had a press conference at like a developer meeting recently where he said that they've been asked to censor a lot of content on Facebook, and they're really uncomfortable with what they're being asked to do. And he goes, I'm just going to make a bunch of decisions in the next 5 years. They're going to piss a lot of people off, and I hope people understand. So now everything that happens, I'm like, Zuckerberg, you said you were going to piss us off.
I don't understand though.
It's hard, man. Like if you're Facebook and like 2.5 billion people are now logged into your technology, your problems at scale, like you have a harder, you basically are like the Chinese government trying to maintain a firewall.
Yeah, I guess the big issue here, and this is why I feel bullish that everything's going to come back to normal again. We'll probably just have to keep fighting the yo-yo fight of this, is that we are an approved and vetted publisher for Facebook. So Facebook, we actually generate revenue from Facebook because they looked in, they saw that we're not crazy. We're not doing any pro-Trump Russian hacking or whatever.
We could.
Not yet.
Any Cambridge Analytica, they've determined that we're doing okay. And so they've approved us. But then on the other
Harvested
front,
a bunch of personal information off Flames fans and ruined all their credit ratings.
yeah, but that's fine because who's a Flames fan anyway? So
Well,
I think
we
we're
got you good,
doing the
Battle of
community a
Alberta.
service. That's true. But yeah, anyway, so it's just kind of like doing the tap dance. The funny thing, or the most kind of impressive thing, was audience reaction to support, because I think obviously that had a huge part in getting the account back.
Yeah, rallying the nation.
Hashtag, what's the hashtag?
Free official Oilers Nation.
Oh, free official Oilersnation. Yeah.
Okay.
Rolls off the tongue.
Tag at Instagram when you do that from any platform that you can. But even like people that you wouldn't think were supporting us to want to have this back are supporting us to want to have this back, which was very interesting to see. But I'm ride the wave now. Now that we got it back, I'm not like I was like seriously like, fuck, what are we gonna do without this? This is like our identity.
Yeah. I mean, there's 60, 70,000 followers.
I just start texting Bagwell, we got to really ramp up our TikTok game.
Yeah. TikTok's that's my area of expertise.
Everyone's freaking out about the Instagram, and Bag Milk is just like, guys, just focus on growing the TikTok more, and we'll
What
be
are we at
We
on
are.
TikTok?
4,300.
Not bad.
One of the fastest growing socials in the network. Thank you.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, you gotta like that.
Yeah.
It just kind of shows also too that like when you're moderating the internet via just robots, sometimes some innocent folks are going to get caught in the wake. And I feel like we're in there.
So it's day to day. Our Instagram account right now, is that kind of the status? Week to week, day to day.
2 to 3 weeks.
We got Gary Roberts out here. We're
Yeah.
doing some rehab on her.
We sent the phone that runs the Instagram account to Toronto.
Yeah. Who'll be back first? The Instagram or Connor?
Yes. Ooh,
Good bet.
That's an odd
Connor.
sharp bet.
Connor will be first.
Oh well.
I hope-
As a fan of the team that wants them back, then yes, I want them back quicker than our Instagram, hoping that it's
All
tomorrow.
right. Would you trade? So let's say Connor's out 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Would you trade the Nation Insta for him to be back 1 week sooner?
Ooh, good question.
But you gotta, is it a
It's never
trade, like,
coming
for
back.
good?
It's never coming back. We have to rebuild Instagram, but Connor's back a week.
I'd rebuild Instagram.
Respect.
Yeah, no, of
Yeah,
course,
me too.
of course. I like the challenge. Fuck
Yeah.
it. Let's do it.
We can do it.
We can.
If for some reason the aliens landed and said you either turn off Oilers Nation, or we using our alien magic and light make the Oilers disappear, would you turn off Oilers Nation to save the Oilers franchise?
Of course.
You're an
Yes.
excellent man.
Without the Oilers, there. I mean, what would
that's
Oilers
it.
Nation?
They're
be?
not affiliated.
All right, you're Chuck. Take my fictional alien scenario and apply logic to it. You know what I mean? I think it's like one of those questions where like you're holding on to two of your children over the edge of the cliff, and who would you let go? The answer is both, because then you can start fresh.
You want a clean break.
You got to get rid of both, because one
you
will
do
remember the
everything.
other.
One will
always
yeah.
remember.
Yeah,
Mine-
and then you have the guilt of the decision of
You
it's
let
too
them
much.
both go, and then you tell the officers they pushed each other over the edge.
And you're going home to watch season 2 of Mindhunter.
Yeah, with no competition for fridge time or anything. Child free.
Makes sense.
So in conclusion, Connor McDavid's injury is not that serious. Your M-check thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I missed 1 week while you guys were interviewing Strudwick, and now this podcast has turned into like baby murdering hypotheticals.
Wow.
Or I don't know.
Well, there was drug dealing 101 a few weeks ago.
That was good.
That was good.
I actually got DMs from somebody being like, you shouldn't talk like that. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know. I just was listening and felt uncomfortable. I'm like, I never actually drug dealed. I was just a shit talking podcaster.
But we did also
One
have,
shot.
like a few days after that, I had someone text me thinking I was their drug dealer.
Come on.
You didn't see when I posted that on my Insta?
No. What happened?
So I got a text while I'm working a Golden Bears game, which also ties into another recent life event of mine. So I get a text from this person, and they're just like, "Hey, it's V. I need like 9 windows and blah 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 blah
What's a
blah."
window?
Whoa. Let's look this
Okay,
up.
here I'll
Yeah, decipher this.
They're building a house party.
So I'll tell you. So here's the text. I get it. 9:21. Hey, it's V. ... My sister has come into the city tonight, and she needs a 9-pack of windows. I respond, "Of what?" She says windows and a zip of HH.
Oh, yeah.
Heavy heroin.
Really?
A zip of Hulk Hogan's. That's drug talk for the kids.
So windows are LSD.
Oh, hold on. You're getting calls from somebody ordering LSD for their own sister?
Yeah.
That's dark.
And what about HH?
What's HH?
For HH. Oh, he's looking at a DEA
Yeah.
drug slang report.
Yeah.
No way.
I got no HH on this list. I'm gonna have to keep digging.
Well, they wanted a zip of that, and I said, "Where'd you get this
zip
number?"
Is a bag, like a Ziploc
yeah,
bag.
right?
That's got to be weed. You're not ordering a zip of any. Well, a zip of cocaine would be like $4,000.
9-pack of windows of LSD. I
That
don't
could
know.
be expensive. Depends on your windows.
So I said, "Where'd you get this number?" And they just go, "I need a total, and if all good, could you get it tonight?" Question mark, question mark, question mark, and pretty much every week.
Wow, this
So
guy
hold
parties.
on. You had a business opportunity like that for
Yeah.
that many windows. Ring your doorbell, and you declined.
Yeah.
You could have been
You-
set up.
You had demand.
And then they go, "It's V, duh. You just gave it to me." And I was like, "You got the wrong number."
You don't forget giving it to V?
HH is cocaine, by the way.
Oh,
see, I told you guys.
A zip of cocaine.
Publicintelligence.net tells us that
Every
HH.
week, a zip of cocaine. Your Ramtruck, you could have been the next El Chapo. And you know how that ended for him? Great.
So I said, "You got the wrong number. This ain't my line of work." And she said, "This is," gave me her full first and last name. "You just gave me the number and told me to text you." And I said, "No, this is Tyler. I work in radio and don't sell drugs."
Weird flex,
Oh,
but
you should have
okay.
grabbed your girlfriend's phone and done the FBI's entered the chat. You should have
fuck, that
created
would've
a
been
group
funny.
conversation.
Actually,
that
they didn't
would've
have
been
an
fantastic.
iPhone. And then I just got,
burner
"Sorry,
phone.
wrong jumper."
Yeah, that's a burner phone. They're probably T9ing you that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was all super, super confusing.
So let me get this straight. After sitting in How to Deal Drugs Internationally 101, you were given a domestic distribution opportunity and turned it down.
Yeah, behind enemy lines, you're safe.
You already had, like, the hardest part's getting customers.
Exactly.
Yours are finding
Supply
you
is never
based
the
on-
issue. Demand, safe demand.
I was gonna say me finding the drugs would have actually been an issue.
You should have given him
I
Stoffer's
would just-
number and been like, "Oh, sorry, new phone, who dis?" and sent him Bob's way. And then he'd be like, "The other day I made $900. I'm not telling you how. Anyways, Windows mean PCP." I dropped both babies to the bottom.
This has been a hell of a podcast
It's
already.
over. Yeah, it's done.
Yeah, we're only at the 13-minute mark.
Oh dear.
Well, we have an agenda. We're kind of taking it off the boxes.
Sort of. We started with the Connor injury. We got that. We
We
went
hit
to
the CAA website within the first 6 minutes of the
Yep.
podcast.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
We went to Instagram war. We went back to Connor injury for a second. Did drugs, which was not on the initial
It never is.
list.
Subsequently added.
So yeah, I turned down that opportunity, but it was weird how that timed with me or with this podcast and the whole drugs thing.
The universe operates
Yeah, man.
in mysterious ways.
If you find yourself in the next 7 days on the edge of a cliff with your children we don't know about,
I
Just
guess.
Remember,
Simpsons.
drop them both.
predicting shit that happens.
Yep.
Chalmers is not here this week, but while we're on the topic of, I guess, drugs and addictions, he's stopping smoking.
Yeah.
That's something we can really do a good job of keeping tabs on. I
Oh,
think.
for sure. No. He's he just recently had a milestone birthday, and so he is committed, and he's going through. That's probably why he's not here. He's
So a carton of darts I
struggling
got
with
him?
the yeah.
So I got him a carton of Du Maurier Golds that doesn't fly for his birthday. Well, shit.
Yeah, that actually is rather unfortunate.
Tell you what I want to talk about.
It's good for him though.
yeah,
yeah.
good for him.
Before you move on, Wani, though, if you do see Chalmers smoking anywhere out there,
Snap
you
a
rat
pic.
him out.
Text
Seen
his wife.
smoking a Red Bull.
Yeah. DM his wife on Twitter.
What we could do is, you know how we do pictures of the nation truck for gas cards? We could do like pictures of Chalmers smoking, and we'll actually just give you cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart.
Why not?
I like it.
Why not?
And give you cigarettes. What do you mean?
I don't know. That'll be our
prize.
As a reward?
Yeah, that'll be our giveaway.
When's the last time you won smokes?
That's been-
It's a throwback contest.
well, this is a podcast. Maybe we are allowed to market cigarettes here.
Are you?
I don't think so.
Actually, that'd be
Smoking's bad. There it is.
yeah.
PSA.
Don't
There was
smoke
this
it.
old timer
You know
when
what's
I
worse
was.
for you is windows.
Oh, windows are great.
Yeah, windows are not good. Or Golden Girl either, which
What?
is of course heroin.
Oh.
Oh,
You're
you know
right,
what? Okay, random Golden
Heroin
Girl
reference?
segue. No. I was in the shower and I was like, here is my take of my life.
Yeah.
Golden Girl, there will be a reboot of Golden Girls. Now, if there is a reboot of Golden Girls,
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna have to go way older than they were though originally.
who is it going to be? Is
Well,
it like,
they
is it
gotta
like,
do it before Betty White, you know what? They gotta move that shit.
is it, but is it, you think the cast of Golden Girls would be like Jennifer Aniston when she's 60 and like that's like super kind of
But, like,
like
even
Charlie's
Jennifer-
Angel type assembly?
Jennifer Aniston at 60 is still gonna look way better than the Golden Girls did at 50.
Now
in
hold
the
on.
mid-
Blanche had a certain sexy way about her back in the day. She could have done something.
Anyways,
for you.
Golden Girls reboot.
Yeah, no, that's your hot take of your life.
I was just in the shower like, wow, how come I haven't thought of this?
Well, they're bringing everything back.
Well, it's going to
kind
be
of just
rebooted.
the View, isn't it?
They're getting $4 million ahead for the Friends reunion show
Really?
Yeah.
Just for a show?
on HBO.
One
Which
like
didn't even. I think
Was it gonna be like a movie?
No, it can't be HBO. I'm full of shit. But they are getting $4
The
million.
one when they come back?
Yeah, the one where they come back.
Yeah.
The one where Chandler doesn't look so good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that guy.
All right. Well, no,
Well,
he's alive.
No, he's
Yeah. He knows about Windows, allegedly, in my opinion.
sure. What other words you got for heroin in that list? There's some gooders.
I like blind squid for ketamine.
Oh, that'd be all right.
That's
Blind
fun.
squid.
That sounds fun. Or if we're sticking with heroin, Golden Girl, Good and Plenty, Good H, Goma, Gorda, Gras, Grazen, Gravy, Gum,
Dan, the DEA's got a fun
Wow,
job.
what isn't heroin, I guess?
Mexican Treat.
You think a guy just busts into the DEA office and he's like, hey, chorizo. That's what they're calling heroin now, and they add it to the list.
Well,
there's
Second-
one guy who has
Just
like a
sec, Phil.
whiteboard.
Yeah, let me just write that
It's
down.
an extensive list.
well,
There's a lot going on here.
I'm sorry. Good chorizo is unreal.
Well, if you
Oh,
can
it's
get
fantastic.
good chorizo.
I am a sausage guy, though.
Oh, sausage, that means cocaine.
Everything means
Everything
drugs.
means everything. The Tyler Yaremchuk story.
Yeah. Okay.
Why I refused to make money over the text lines. The Tyler Yaremchuk story.
Yeah.
Today, someone texted in 10:05, and they go, "Hey, my buddy just saw Connor McDavid on a plane going to Toronto."
False.
And I texted back, I was like, "Man, you're full of shit. Like, your buddy's screwing with you, obviously." And he responds, he goes, "No, man, this friend is not smart enough to mess with me on this level. Like, he wouldn't. This is the truth."
So then you hit him back. That's great. How many windows do you need?
And then,
Let's cut the small talk.
All right, great. Windows, question mark?
then, like 5 minutes later, it's announced McDavid's on a flight to Toronto because he's out 2 to 3 weeks. This guy nailed it.
Wow.
Which is pretty wild.
You can get scoops from random.
Why is Connor flying commercial?
That was your Mchuk's point. He said, you're lying. Connor only flies on the PJ.
That was my original point. I'm like, man, he flies private.
That shows me he's not as injured as
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
before they were like rigging up the first Hyperloop to shoot him to Toronto in record time.
Actually, with the whole like random people breaking stories, wasn't that how the Andre Sekera news came out? That he
'cause
got
was-
re-injured?
Yeah, he was at the airport in like a knee brace or whatever it was.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
people were like,
some
what
guy
the
at the
hell?
airport saw him in customs or something.
Did he work out for Dallas at like $1.5 million, or was
He's
he
playing.
Is he playing well?
I think he's okay.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we're sitting here missing Andre Sekera too much, but like he's
In
an NHL
47 games with the Dallas Stars, Andre Sekera has 2 goals and 6 assists for 8 points.
What's his plus minus?
Plus minus is +9.
Oh,
If that's your jam.
That's effective.
yeah, maybe he's not doing that bad.
How many windows is he taking down in the
Oh,
last?
buddy. He's a window salesman.
Windows. They call him all weather because he's all about the windows.
Ooh.
Huh?
That's not
You
bad.
could be using these lines for your burgeoning drug empire.
Man, I don't want people to get the wrong impression of what I'm like. That's not
Hit
my
your
style.
Ramchuk up.
You're
if
an
you need
opportunist.
the tip.
I'm not.
Okay.
You said you were a hustler.
Yeah.
This is the hustle.
This is not the hustle I wanna
mean
follow.
jungle that we live in.
How much wrecking crew do you need, friend?
What's
About
wrecking
40
crew?
zips.
Crack cocaine.
Every week is what disturbed me about that story.
Yeah, like that was. It was
Like,
just
who's
like,
on a weekly window diet? Keith Richards?
Yeah.
for every
Jimi
week to
Hendrix?
need, and like that seems like an excessive amount.
Well,
I don't know what a normal amount is, but 9 windows.
Well, 7
If that
days
was
in a
a
week.
runner asking you to wholesale for them and you turn down that, I don't know how you're going to make drug lord by 40. I don't think you got the game set up in your head.
That's
You
true.
need to tighten up.
You're doing it all wrong.
Think about it. Get a
Hi, this
hyperbaric
is-
chamber.
Tyler Yaremchuk, how much galloping horse do you need?
Oh,
Little heroin? Little heron?
very dusty.
Actually, I think I knew that one. I think I knew that
powder.
one.
See, I can't know all this because it's going to fuck with my head. It's like when I didn't know that saying I party, which
Yeah,
we've
yeah,
said
yeah,
since
yeah.
we were 16, thinking it means I like to go to Rum Jungle and dance. One time someone stopped me. They're like, you shouldn't be yelling out I party. That's drug slang, but I don't do drugs, so I don't notice. Simultaneously, Chinese food as a synonym for heroin.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to get in my head when I try to order oodle noodle. What if it brings me a couple of zips of windows instead?
As somebody who wears contacts,
Thanks, Skip.
contacts lens referring to LSD could be confusing depending who you're talking about.
Jesus.
It's complicated.
Like this doesn't even. I can just sit here and be like, oh, water bottle. Yeah. that
Oh,
means-
you got water bottle on you?
right? Like
How many zips?
None of this makes any fucking sense. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Because everyone who names drugs is usually on drugs.
Basically, I'm just going to print this list off and we're going to hang this up all over Little Brick.
Beautiful. There we go.
Just so everybody knows.
Speaking of drugs, have you watched the Bieber documentary?
No.
There's another one.
Well, he's got a 6-part thing called Seasons on YouTube documentary.
Seasons.
Am I
Is it
allowed
spelled
to, or do I need
seasons?
a special YouTube?
No. They're like premium when they first come out, and then it moves over to free.
Well,
Yeah. Just
move
get hit with the
over,
odd ad.
Connorless
What's it
Oilers.
like?
Oh, here we
Google,
go.
and unrelated, but Google disclosed for the first time YouTube revenue. Normally they bundle it up when Alphabet's doing a reporting. $15 billion a year in revenue.
For YouTube, just off ads.
And they bought it for $1 billion. Well, and subscription revenue too.
Yeah.
Wow, that's staggering.
That's a godly sum of money.
Most of that money goes to Jojo Siwa for making content. Bag Milk, you'll get that.
YouTube captured $15 billion in ad revenue, growing 36% year over year and accounting for almost 10% of Alphabet's total revenue.
D's.
Who's Alphabet?
The
the
parent
parent
company of
company.
Google and all their other investments.
really?
Google's balance or their income statement's hilarious still. It's like search 99%. All the other stuff we work on 1%. Like having invented search and monetize that, they can fiddle around till the end of time.
Yeah, that's fucked.
But you know what they don't have? Windows. You can't get a window to save your life at YouTube headquarters these days.
15 billion. That's
Yeah, I bet
Get
you
your
there's
own Windows.
in a company worth 15 billion. I bet you there's some drugs in it.
They microdose LSD. The tech people, they love it. They
Really?
They swear by it. They say it's like an Adderall substitute.
A substitute for Adderall.
Adderall's like, oh no, it isn't. No, it might be. It might be. It might. What do you call heroin? Or sorry, opium. What do you got there? Anything good?
Opium, we got Auntie, we got Aunt Emma, Big O, Black Russian, Chandu, China, Chinese
tobacco.
molasses, Chinese tobacco, chocolate, cruise, Dopium, Dover's powder,
Dopium.
Dream gum,
That's
Dream
original.
stick,
Dream gum.
yeah, easing powder, God's medicine, Goma, Gondola, Goric, great tobacco.
I know a guy who tried
Gondola
it.
or gondola?
Well, that's the head.
It's
scratcher.
gondola.
I know a guy who tried opium when he was in Asia. A guy we know, Jay. A guy we know very well who did it once, never again. And he's like, I tried it. I went to bed in my little hut, and I lay there all night thinking if God made anything better, he kept it for himself. I got up in the morning, and I've never touched it since. And that's why he isn't texting your Chuck at the Golden Bears games looking for a couple zips of
Alien
tobacco?
Alien sex fiend, which is PCP,
All right.
mixed with heroin.
of course.
I wouldn't
What's
listen to
next,
this
Remchuk?
podcast.
Yeah. So now that pretty much
You got some
everyone-
editing to do, I see.
Yeah. So
No,
now,
leave it all in.
I'm kidding.
It's all good.
now that everyone
We all
listens to
learned.
2
this
minutes in,
podcast,
Tyler.
We all
tell you-
learned something.
I'll tell you what I'm concerned about hockey related.
there we go. Thank you for going back to the hockey.
So I watched Smith play Nashville and let in a flub-dubbery of a goal and pound his blocker into the ice. And I say to myself, that Smith is such a hot piece of trash. I'm going to look at how terrible his record is. And he hasn't lost in 2020.
Yeah, hasn't lost in regulation in 2020. You watch him and you go, hot piece of trash. You look at his record, you go, hot piece of ass.
Whoa. Koskinen, who was at
Write
one
that
point this
down.
season 9-1.
Write that down.
Yeah. Write that down next to Windows. Gets Koskinen, who was 9-1 at one point, lets in one glove side goal. And trending trade Koskinen. Koskinen has a weak glove hand Canada wide. Why don't we have any confidence in our Oiler goaltending tandem?
I think it's just because we haven't had a long enough run where it's been solid. Like we had Costin come in last year and he was good. And then we played the shit out of him and then he was terrible.
Terrible. I think that it's because we've had such a revolving door of goaltenders here that didn't pan out. We're like the lady who's been on Tinder for 12 consecutive years and hasn't missed a weekend with a blind date, and you're just like, there's no one good left. I feel like that's what's going on with Oilers fans. They've just had their heart broken by the monster. They had their heart broken by Scrivens.
Monster.
They had their heart broken by
Victor Fast.
Victor Fath. He was terrible. Who else was garbage? Check.
Yeah, pretty much everyone since Rolison, right? Like Happy Boulin was good for a bit and then terrible, and Talbot was really good for a bit and then fell off. And I do agree. I think there's just a lack of trust, and I think there's a chunk of the fan base right now, and this is part of the problem where like, you know, maybe 40% of the fan base wants Smith over Koskinen, and maybe like 60% wants Koskinen over Smith. So when one makes the smallest little mistake, the other side pounds their fist on the table and goes, "Whoa, that was weird." The other one pounds their fist on the table and is like, "No, the other guy needs to be in here. This is why the other guy needs to be starting." And it's just that constant back and forth of the loud voices yelling at each other, right?
But they all, yeah. Well, these guys haven't. Yeah, we're split on both goalies, but I bet you we're unified that we don't feel comfortable with our goaltending situation at all.
One of the most difficult questions I think you could ask an Oilers fan or even Dave Tippett himself right now is if tonight's game was a winner take all to get into the playoffs, who do you start?
Connor
Smith.
Good call.
I would take Smith only because, yeah, I know it's not easy. What he did against Colorado, even though they lost almost every game, was unreal.
Yeah.
And I talk about the Fire a lot. I
love the Fire.
I get shat on for the Fire, but I love the Fire.
A caveman.
Yes. Smith at least has the Fire, so I know he's going to put in like a Warrior-esque effort where like Kostinen's just like tactical. Like he just does his little amazing leg things and he's positional and like that's it, that. There's no like next level like I'm going to take the puck in my glove and make sure it always goes in there and not over it and in the net.
I wonder, obviously this is a question that you'd never get an answer to, but I wonder who the teammates would prefer. Like who do the D-men like playing in front of more? Who do they, right? Like,
because it's a massive difference.
It
one's
is.
going to move the puck, one's not really.
Yeah.
So that affects how you
that's
play.
true. Hey,
But one of them might be a little bit more of a yell at you and tell you made a fucking garbage play, while the other one might just sit there and be like, shit, I gave up a goal, right?
Yeah.
Because we've seen that from Smith too. He loves to holler at his teammates.
Yeah.
I'd go with the guy that fought Talbot personally if I was in
And he fought Talbot.
yeah, that guy, he's got it going on.
I can there is two sides of it. I could see why they would love that Fire and love playing in front of Mike Smith, but I could also see why some guys would be like, fuck man, like it's not always our fucking fault you didn't stop the puck.
Yeah, like every day hearing it would probably be annoying if that is the
case.
Well, and also like for me, like with Smith, it's like his style is it's when you watch it you don't get a lot of faith out of that because like he's normally like
feast or famine.
Well, but he's ducking when he like front a glove hand save, and I'm like, is he even watching the puck? But like clearly he's stopping pucks, which is the job description of a goalie, I believe.
I believe that's somewhere in the top few lines.
Yeah.
I mean, the goaltending is going to continue to be a story up until playoff time. Speaking of the defenseman in front of them, last week you guys had Jason Strudwick on, and you all lively debated what to do with Darnell Nurse. Ken Holland decided what to do with Darnell Nurse, signed him to a 2-year deal.
As he should.
You like it?
I like that dollar value. Because like I said, like where I got upset last week was just like asking for $8 million. Like if that's the direction him and his camp want to go, you have to reevaluate your position on the player, right? In the sense of like, I think maybe we need to move on from that and let someone else pay me.
But didn't he sign for like 5.5?
5.6.
5.6.
Yeah.
Oh, that came down.
Yeah, so it came down. Yeah, so it's good. So that to me is like, okay, well, he signed another bridge deal, which doesn't happen that often.
No, teams like usually that, and that's what's interesting about this is teams usually love going long term with guys.
Yeah.
Sign your own, right?
But they got a lower price. So I think that's both team and player given in a little bit. And so for me, that's a positive. And the other thing, going back to like if we're actually opening up a window for the Oilers, we do need continuity, but we also need to manage the cap. So this provides added continuity for 2 more years and at a price point I'm willing to digest.
I think Ken Holland is doing a great job. I can't recall the Oilers extending and signing players mid-season like this ever. Normally it's like, oh, well, we'll wait till the last minute in the off-season and piss guys off by letting them go long and, making them dance for their contracts. He's just getting it done. The fact that Cassian and Nurse have re-signed, traditionally that would be off-season shit.
100% for the Oilers.
And they can't extend Bear yet, can they?
No, I think they got to wait. They got to wait till the summer, I think, to extend Bear.
I got a funny Ethan Bear story.
Oh,
Ready?
really? Yeah.
Okay. Buddy of mine was at a place where you play cards for money.
Okay, loaded statement.
Legal place. I just don't want to name a casino unless they pay us.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Bear was there. And he wasn't playing, but he was there. And he had a uniformed police officer a local police security guard, and then a big giant dude walking around with me. And the guy that was there, his buddy goes, "Hey, look at that guy. He looks just like Ethan Bear." And Ethan Bear looked at them walking past and was like nodded at them. And the guy was like, "That is Ethan Bear." And he was there, but he's like a superstar in the community.
He should be.
Apparently, that he required triple security because there was so many people. There was like a ring of girls around him. And then the girls were on the other side of the pit boss table and were standing around peacocking their head off. Ethan Bear, you've arrived.
His next contract's going to be fascinating because
Clap bomb him.
I
hope so. If you could,
because I think he loves being here. And I think this fan base just adores him, man. Like, he'll be a fan favorite.
For sure.
He already is. Like, when you walk around Rogers Place, man, Ethan Bear jerseys are right up there with, probably not McDavid's, but they're right up there with, like, the Nugent Hopkins area.
Upper echelon.
Yeah, he's an upper echelon jersey sell. And, man, I just think his fan base loves him. I think he's such a breath of fresh air. I'd love to see them go, like, 7 years, $4.5 million with Bear.
Good.
To me, he's the better defenseman on that pairing.
He is. He passed, like, everything when it comes to defensemen now. It's almost like passing the puck is more important than defending. Like, if you can just transport the puck out of your own end and make crisp passes, you're not going to have to do very much defending in today's NHL. And he's so much better at that than Darnell Nurse that I think he should be a priority.
And that's why I found it interesting that Ken Holland only went 2 years on Darnell Nurse, because it takes him right to being an unrestricted free agent. To me, it shows like the organization still has no idea what he is and weren't willing to go long-term on him with big money.
Yeah. If they thought Darnell Nurse was going to round out his game and suddenly become like an impact stud D-man, they would have signed him to a long-term deal. They would have given him $7 million or whatever, and they would have just been like, who cares?
On the last contract.
Yeah, never mind this contract. On the last contract, the previous regime might have even thought
because I think we could have got him for $5 a year for a long-term deal then.
Yeah, it was kind of like considered 5.5, 6 if it was a long-term deal. Yeah. The other side of this too is like Darnell Nurse is a big part of this team's core and the leadership, and he's friends with McDavid, friends with Draisaitl. This is something we talked about on Oilersnation Radio a bit, but if Darnell Nurse wants to be here long-term and win with his boys, then there also has to be a part of him that goes, all right, I'm not going to milk every last penny out of my unrestricted free agent years. I'm going to take a 6x6.5 offer in 2 years, and I'm going to stay here and win. Because if he wants 6x7 and the Oilers say we can't afford that, and he decides that $500,000 a season is more important than that, well then, I mean, that's also kind of on him a little bit.
And in unrelated news, Cam McDavid just lent him $1 million tax-free for 5 years.
Cam's doing his job.
Yeah.
To me, it just says, like, Darnell Nurse, you've got really the rest of this year and next year to make your choice on him.
Yeah.
Because then he goes to UFA the
but that was the
following
last
season.
contract, too.
But he couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, he was
I see what you're saying.
So, like, they have next year and the rest of this year to really make a choice. Otherwise, because if you're going to trade him leading up to the deadline, you're going to minimize your return. You probably want to trade him with a full year left on his deal if that is the plan, especially considering he's going to free agency.
If the Dustin Penner offer sheet taught me anything, it's you want to lock these guys up long term. Every player long term is a good investment. That's what it taught me.
And they need money for Nuge. Come on.
What is the Nuge going to sign for?
7x7?
I'm going to say 7.5x7.
He'll get another.
Really? You think he'll get 7.5?
How old will he be?
10.
Yeah, I think 10.
I think he comes at the end of his next contract.
He's 26 right now.
26.
So a 7-year deal would take him to 35. So
he must have been so pissed when Yamamoto passed him in age.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, that's got to be
He's been working on
heartbreaking
it.
to see Yamamoto come up here, little elf, and then be older than him within a week.
So he'll be 27 or 28 when his contract's up. 7 years, that's a long time.
Maybe 5?
In a dream, you try to get 5. In a dream world.
In a
5x7.5?
5x7.5 I'd do.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, Kevin Hayes signed for 7.5 this summer. Nuge is a better player than that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Nuge is a better player than that, but Kevin Hayes also got like grossly overpaid. Kevin Hayes, is about that same age though. Yeah, I bet you 7x7.5 might actually be what it is once you consider inflation.
I just hope the salary cap's $100 million then.
Well, and the new
needed to be
TV
on
deal
up.
might do that.
Won't the TV deal go down?
No, the TV deal will bring them so much more revenue that the cap will go up.
Another TV deal to replace this Rogers deal where every single person at Rogers that signed it got fired is going to be replaced with a larger TV deal?
I think US TV?
US TV deal.
Yeah.
The Canadian one's also up in a few years. I want to say 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But
so they're going to renegotiate their American with what, NBCSN? Is that
whoever it is, or maybe they open it up. Maybe ESPN makes a play on it. Maybe it's like ABC making a play on it. Fox. Like, you never
Remember
know.
it was on the Outdoor Life Network?
OLN.
Yeah.
Remember that?
You loved that?
No, I just said OLN.
I remember they're like, we've signed a deal. And we're, oh, wow. With the Outdoor Life Network. Whatever you
Our
say.
salary cap is $28 million.
But NBCSN, I know that they did the deal for the NHL, and they've had great ratings.
Yeah, so I mean, you're hoping that if the NHL builds up that success, that's what happened to the NBA, right? That one year when everyone was just getting, like Mike Conley was getting like $80 million deals because they got this new TV deal. The cap went up, and of course GMs are morons and aren't like, I should save some of this money. They just blow it all in one summer. So that's also what Nurse and potentially Nugent Hopkins are setting themselves up for, is free agency years when this cap could be like, right now the cap in the NHL is what, like 82, 83, 82 and a half?
Yeah.
81 and a half. I think in a matter of 4 years, we could be looking at like 95, 96 million.
Nice.
Which for the Oilers to have McDavid and Draisaitl locked up,
Yeah. Mint.
it is, man. Like those deals only get better, and that's a big part of it as well.
Gives us room to sign Kovalchuk long term. That's proper.
Jeez.
And
Fuck
kibbles
me.
and bits for everybody.
Oh, I know what that means. That's Ritalin, registered trademark.
Yeah.
Did you see two Nation writers going at it hard on Twitter over Ilya Kovalchuk?
Was it you and Brownlee?
It was me and Brown.
Oh no, are you all right?
I'm fine. I don't care. But I said something on the radio about how I don't think Kovalchuk skates well enough to make an impact, and Brownlee subtweeted me.
Oh dear.
Yeah, he didn't even tag me in the tweet.
Ow.
So I said, Robin, you can tag me in these tweets.
Oh, listen to this shit, you fucker. Where's that list of drugs again?
Yeah.
What's he on, the Windows?
So I was really hoping maybe we could like get Brownlee on a podcast soon. I think me and him just need to settle our differences in person.
In a knife fight.
Oh, that'd be good. We'll just sit back and listen.
I just meant by like talking it out.
If you guys were fighting and you were on the edge of a cliff and I was holding on to both of you, I'd save you, Ramjack.
Thank you, because I don't think Brownlee could produce the podcast.
Not a chance. And he doesn't know where to get Windows. You're plugged in.
we'll have Windows here for him.
He's a better writer though, but not as good pressing buttons on the Roadcaster.
The Roadcaster's an impressive piece of technology.
It is.
I wouldn't trust anybody else with you.
Is it coming on the road to Vegas, or are we doing some other solution?
Well, there are a couple of potential issues with that. One, we aren't going down there to work, right? If anyone from U.S. Customs is listening to this.
They aren't, but yes.
But we're not going down there to work. And I worry that if I'm bringing a bunch of podcast equipment, they're going to be like, are you sure you're not going down there to work?
And you're like, I make amateur pornography.
Right?
Yeah, but they won't believe you.
And I could be like, I'll bring the camera, the DSLR we have.
Well-mic'd amateur porn.
I'll bring the lights and everything. Like the whole
This is
Yeah,
for
bring the whole
personal
room.
project. Yeah, what happens in Vegas stays.
So I'm worried about that. But I'd like to do something when we're in Vegas, podcast wise.
We'll talk to your peers. 'Cause I thought one of your peers was going to go down carrying something in a suitcase.
Robin Brown.
Another option is to split up the equipment amongst everyone.
Hewlett.
Oh,
I
here's
gotta
our
get
chance.
a microphone on an airplane.
All
with
right.
No one knowing.
Everyone fire up the prison
right?
pockets.
Like, we're bringing how many Oilers fans to Vegas? 40?
53.
53. I'm looking at the cords and stuff in here. I think we could spread it out amongst 50 people.
Each person gets a knob off the Roadcaster. You have
Yeah.
to reassemble it down there.
We got to record some form of podcast or some kind
Yeah.
of live show.
I'll figure something out. Did we ever sell the old equipment from the other podcast?
Nope. We didn't sell those mics over there in the corner either.
Oh, yeah, those are still
We
kicking.
got to get rid of those bad boys.
Oh, I can suitcase at least 2 of those.
Oh,
Yeah.
But the old equipment might be easier to transport because everything in here is so wired up, right?
yeah.
So it's a little difficult. I could also do it through USB microphone, which would give us less quality, but same great content.
Because I also have a snowball, if that works.
Yeah, I would just need to get a USB splitter, and we could potentially plug in like 6 or 7 snowballs. And which
What's
You
that
know
on the list?
Yeah.
Ah, jeez.
What's he talking about?
That's
PCP again?
that's got to be 7 different drugs.
so we could do
Oh,
that.
Yeah, we got snowball is cocaine.
Okay.
So we leave on a Tuesday, come back on a Thursday, right?
Correct.
So when would we want to record a real life down there?
Well, some iteration or an ON radio or some kind of
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Some kind of recorded content.
We could do both, I guess. We could do a real life on Tuesday to like talk about how excited we are to be there. We could watch the Connor McDavid-less Oilers against Vegas.
How dare you? He'll be back by then.
And then on
Oh, yeah,
Thursday
no, that
before
should be
we
right in
leave,
his wheelhouse.
we have like long layovers too. Actually, if we bring this up, we might be able to just crush it out in an airport.
Just on the way.
In Calgary, we got a long travel day on the way back.
Yeah, the 737 Max is. We're feeling the effects of that.
Yeah, I might just get out in Uber home from Calgary instead of waiting in the
Wow,
airport.
you are rich, sir.
I'm
Yep.
kidding.
It's all those windows he's moving.
But yeah, if you're a listener of the podcast and you're not coming to Vegas, Surveyor Brett's coming to Vegas. Maybe he can come on the podcast.
He's the Oodle Noodle contest winner.
Maybe
He
he's
is.
our patsy that takes down all the equipment.
Yeah, hey, you want the trip? You got to earn it.
Yeah.
I feel like if border guards were like, "Hey, Surveyor Brett, are you bringing down all this equipment to work?" He'd just start talking about surveying, and they'd be like, "Well, we have the wrong guy. This is a surveyor." I was like, "I'll tell you what, straight lines."
No way, this guy's recording a podcast down there.
I don't know what he's into, but it's certainly not podcast.
But Vegas is going to be fun, even though McDavid won't be there.
Oh, easy. Would you like to make a wager?
I'm guessing he is. That's 2 weeks.
What?
No, I'm just saying that he's not going to be there because I'm putting that all out there so I can be like very excited. I don't want to get my hopes up.
We go down in 2 weeks. They play in 15 days. Connor will be in Vegas, in my opinion.
They played the night before in Anaheim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They can skip that one.
Aren't they on a bit of a road trip though? Would you fly him down for a road trip?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We got the Roadcaster. Of course you can.
Maybe we'll run into him and we can get McDavid on the podcast. Wouldn't that
Don't.
be the dream?
Don't even tease me.
Can you imagine if we just like saw him walking around a hotel and we're like, hey, Connor, come upstairs for a bit. We got snowballs.
If he said,
I hope he says no.
No, I don't party.
I am a
Chuck.
professional athlete.
Yeah. My mom
So-
raised me right.
Leading up to the game in Vegas, they've got their home on the 19th and 21st against the Bruins in Minnesota, and then they do jump on the road they play the Kings on the Sunday the 23rd, Anaheim the 25th, and the Vegas when we're there on the 26th.
He's back for the Anaheim game.
So it's a quick flight on the old Cates jet.
Yeah, maybe.
Quick flight.
Every game does mean so fucking much right now. Like my eyes are glued to the out of town scoreboard.
Oh, I know. Isn't it just
It's so
crazy? And
bad.
I'm just like,
So nice to matter again.
it is nice, but it also drives me nuts because like a team will be losing. You're like, yeah. And then they come back and all you're doing is watching it on the score app. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
but
And you're
normally
like,
by this
fuck.
point of the year, I'm like crying in my basement, hitting refresh on the draft simulator till it gets to first, taking a screenshot, putting it on social, and going first try like everybody else. Fucking liars.
So I was at dinner during the Oiler game on Saturday, and we were down 2-0. I'm sure most of you are aware of that. So I started talking to this couple beside us, and they were from Australia, but the wife was from Germany originally. So then I started talking about how we love Leon Draisaitl. And so while we had like an hour-long conversation. So during this time, I guess, it was 2-1 because they got that fluky goal to tie it at the end of the period. And while we're having this conversation, I keep looking at my phone. I'm like, look, Draisaitl, the guy I'm talking about. Oh, look, Draisaitl. You think it's odd? I was talking to a German woman and the German guy brought us home the victory? Probably not.
Did she know who he was?
No. But I did my part. Now she knows.
yeah.
And she knows Edmonton loves him.
Yes, and now she knows Edmonton. I thanked him for coming to Canada.
And
I
said
just-
next time come on a nation trip.
I got a feeling Leon's going to go supernova here.
This is his time to shine.
He's gonna saddle up. He's gonna put the boys on his back, and he's going to carry them forward in Connor's absence.
We need that hockey. We need to pull out our inner Arizona Coyotes, or at least the first half of the season, Taylor Hollis Arizona Coyotes, and just be fucking flying out there.
Honestly, like I think this could be a bit of a rallying point in like a weird way. Like everyone in the room just goes, "Hey guys, we're not fucking letting Connor down. We're not going to fall out of the race here just because our captain's out of the lineup. Like we need to fight, stay in the race, so when he comes back, we're still playing meaningful hockey, right?"
Yep.
I think that might be the mindset in the room. And at the end of the day, we've talked a lot about Surveyor Brett. He pointed this out originally on Twitter. They still have the leading scorer in the NHL in their lineup, and he's been playing pretty good without Connor McDavid lately. I looked at their last 3 wins. The McDavid line in those last 3 wins had not outshot their opponent once at 5-on-5. The Draisaitl line did it every single win.
My only concern is our second line at the moment, as per Jason Greger's article on Oilersnation.com.
Great Insta account.
The Instagramless Oilersnation.com is Chason, Haas, and Gagne.
Yeah, they're gonna split up Draisaitl and Nuge. They have to.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't start like that. You gotta. Those guys are clicking, so we
And
might have to be riding that horse hard.
Well, 100%, but they can't play 60 minutes. So I'm guessing they split up Nuge and Leon by the time the second period kicks in tonight. You can't have Gaetan Haas as your second line center.
Well, maybe
You just can't.
Well, I guess not. I've got a lot of time for Gaetan Haas.
Me
but
too.
Maybe not in a second line role.
Love Gaetan, just not on the second line. That's all.
I think, like, man, Dave Tippett is a coach who he made some pretty weak forward groups in Arizona look pretty competent and win them hockey games. So to me, it's kind of like, why not just let that top line run and have Tippett coach that bottom nine to so much success? There's like the top line, bottom nine. Because Tippett's worked with rosters like that before, where it's just a shitload of support players and like a couple decent guys.
Yeah.
And now he still has Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins up on that top unit. But I think there's a chance it could work with just a top line and a bottom nine.
Do you think Uncle Ken makes a move sooner than planned?
No. He's going to wait right up till the deadline.
Why?
I think he's very leery about giving up a first-round pick to help a team that still isn't quite a lock to get in.
You got to be careful of those first rounders.
But why are we
put,
giving away a first round pick?
Because how did you see what Jason Zucker went for? Zucker went for the equivalent of Edmonton trading a first-round pick in Evan Bouchard. Plus, there's a cap dump in there, but
Can't you, though, playoff protect it, if that makes sense?
yeah, it's going to hurt its value, though. But I mean, you certainly could. But like, if you playoff protect it in your Pittsburgh, like Minnesota doesn't care. They're like the Wild. Pittsburgh's obviously going to make the playoffs. If you playoff protect it in your Edmonton, the other team might go, ooh, fuck. It's dicey if they're going to make it or not. So it could hurt its value.
If I look at the pantheon of first-round picks the Oilers have picked of late, Nail Yakupov, Jesse Puljujärvi, these guys don't grow on trees. You can't be giving them up for proven NHL players. You got to take the crapshoot 10 times out of 10, draft Jason Sewells, and wonder why the hell he became a firefighter. That's true, by the way, if you look that up.
But the issue is if you trade all your first-round picks, then you don't get Yamamotos and Bouchards on their entry-level
Yes,
deals
or
ever.
Connors or Leons. I understand. It was a jestful statement.
No, I get it, but if we need, and Struds brought up last week, like the team's played well enough to get some help.
I agree.
So hopefully there's a transaction that's going to be happening. But yeah, no, I agree. You can't you got to be careful what you're giving up. Like, and that's it's. But if we can get someone who's not a rental, who's going to be on the roster for a while in return, well then
Then you're going to have to give up a lot.
Well, if you want some California pancakes, you got to pay for them,
Well said. Well said.
That's a good clip, actually.
You want to know how I made $40 this weekend, Magma?
Go ahead.
we got him.
You want to know how I made $40 this weekend?
Absolutely.
I got a rare double or nothing bet to go off.
Okay.
How many nipples does Harry Styles have?
3.
Correct. The person I bet didn't believe me. Then I doubled it down. Sorry, Harry Styles has 4 nipples.
Was he a pig?
Marky Mark has 3 nipples. That was my original bet.
Superfluous memory for those of you at home.
You're a liar. I bet you that he does. Look that up. Double or nothing. Harry Styles has more nipples than Marky Mark. I'll take that bet. $40. Boom.
So you made money
what is
off of
going on
male
here?
nipples.
Well, if you looked 7 nipples, $40. I was making like almost $6.50 a nipple.
Oh, man, you're not even, fucking lying.
Why
That's
would I?
weird.
Well,
The placement is odd,
He won
too.
the money.
Got
The
nubbins.
placement's odd.
Yeah. They're not
like,
symmetrical.
So there's a good place for a third
There's a
and
lot of
fourth nipple?
celebrities with third nipples if you look it up. There's a BuzzFeed article about people who freaked out and had them removed.
I'd leave mine. I'd pierce it. Chain them all together.
Badass.
Okay, but are they actually nipples or are they just birthmarks? I
Oh,
guess
no, they're
that's-
nipples. Marky Mark is a third, and Harry has a you
fourth.
can have like 6. I was reading. This $40 bought me a lot of time to do nipple research.
Well, geez, you
Yeah, third nipples.
that kind of wealth.
Yeah, here you go.
Oh, the triple nipple
Triple
club.
nipple club.
Wow.
Wow, no shit.
Marky
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg. Okay.
That was my first 20.
We've got Tilda Swinton. I
Oh, okay.
don't know how they got a picture of that. Harry Styles.
4. See, Harry
Yeah.
has 4.
Actually, that's 4. Joanna Krupa.
Mildly celebrity.
Lily Allen.
Oh, I haven't heard her name in a while.
It's been a minute.
Triple nipple.
Bill Paxton.
Unbelievable.
Twister's Own.
Twister Zone, yeah.
Carrie Underwood.
Whoa.
See? Shocking.
A-list.
Now we're getting there.
That's the end.
And that was the end. Yeah.
Dang.
There's
so
your
many nipples.
7 with
There
the
you
triple
go.
nipple club.
That has nothing to do with anything. None of your drug references are in there.
Nope.
But for the nipple community, this podcast is breaking news.
That's going to be one of the tags I put. It'll be like Oilers, real life,
Celebrity nipples.
celebrity, and then
Banned
comma,
from Insta.
and then nipples. And that's why we're never getting
Superfluous nipples.
And the devil's dandruff.
That's obvious.
Amphetamines, right?
Oh,
I
that
feel
was
like if I
cocaine.
put all of these drug keywords, that's a good way to make sure our podcast gets taken off Apple. Like,
Apple would be a drug as well.
That's heroin.
Before we conclude this podcast, guys, we need
probably
to give
a good idea.
We need to give some love to our friends at Japa, who do not endorse the drug mule talk.
No.
They might endorse the nipple talk.
No.
No?
No.
They're good, hardworking folk.
They endorse the earth moving talk,
Yeah.
the infrastructure talk,
Talking to millennials on the podcast.
the quality service talk.
Yeah.
We're going to Vegas, but so is Japa, actually, and they let me know about this. March 10th to 14th, they're going to be at the 2020 Con Expo at the XCMG booth, showing off new products that'll be launching later this spring.
Sick. The 2020 Connex?
I don't know.
I bet they're going
Industry
to talk
stuff.
about the 450.
Oh, easily.
But they'll have 24 new pieces of equipment to show off. If you're head down to Vegas in March for Con Expo, you can come meet up with the Japa crew and be like, hey, we heard about you guys on that podcast.
You should stop sponsoring it. All they talk about is drugs.
Someone will walk up and be like, do you guys listen to that podcast you sponsored? And they'll be
Absolutely
like, nah.
not.
They'll be like, here's a funny story. We've never even actually met the people from Nation Real Life. They just picked our logo and company and started promoting us. We don't know what to do. We
We've
haven't
been
paid them a
hammering
nickel.
their legal department, but we cannot get it
But it
removed
doesn't exist.
somehow.
Well, their Instagram account.
They just keep sending back 40-point font sans serif of drug terms that Bag Milk got from the DEA website.
Try to figure out these wingdings.
Well, if we don't get our Instagram account back, we are going to rent a piece of XCMG machinery from Japa Machinery Group at a fair price.
Fair.
And we're
Well
going to
serviced.
slowly
Absolutely
drive
well
it
serviced.
to Instagram HQ.
Yeah.
Well, that'll work because they have a ton of 36 and 47-ton excavators available for rent and purchase to complement your existing fleet.
We're bringing the 47 tonner because we mean business.
If you rent the 47, how many K do you think they'll let you put on it in about a week?
So in this land, they don't talk about kilometers; they talk about machine hours.
Okay.
I believe.
Fair, fair.
Japa, please fact check that. But I'm sure you probably got 200 hours in there before you probably need to check if your flangulator needs to be lubricated.
Imagine
some
taking
distance
like a
in 200
scissor
hours.
lift and just deciding that's your daily ride and being like, nope, I paid for it. Just driving down Jasper Avenue.
I work 5 minutes a day because I have 9 hours of commuting.
6 stories up, just going down Jasper Ave like the cock of the walk. That's life at Japa.
That is a boss move.
Yeah, it is
You
a
get
lot.
some great Instagram photos too.
Yeah, you might get yourself a bag of that Tupperware. Mm-hmm. That's also a drug term.
Absolutely.
Your M-Chuck, any thoughts before we're all fired?
We have to show. Well, we were talking about Oodle Noodle briefly. We do have to shout out Oodle Noodle.
That's true.
Terwilliger is now open. Come check it out. Wow. 23rd Ave and Rabbit Hill Road.
Ask us what location number that is, your M-Chuck.
That is location, I think I know, isn't it? Lucky number 13?
Super lucky 13.
Aha! I learned there's a Japa on my drive from the radio station to here.
What do you mean? Like a job,
Or sorry,
a piece of machine?
damn it, I mean an Oodle Noodle.
Oh, you're mixing
Yeah.
sponsors.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm mixing up sponsors. So I think later this week I might be stopping by Oodle Noodle.
I also want to encourage you to go to Oodle Noodle's Twitter account, Oodle_Noodle, or on Instagram, Oodle Noodlegram, and enter to win the dream trip for 2 to Thailand, brought to you by our friends at Oodle Noodle and AMA Travel. Super easy to enter. All you got to do is share the image, follow those accounts, and tag your travel buddy.
This is real, too. As the Instagram guy for Oodle Noodle, we've probably had 125 people enter.
Yeah, Twitter's
When's the last... Twitter's how many?
on fire. Like 150 easy.
Okay. When's the last time you had a 1 in 300 chance of winning a trip for 2 to Thailand? This is real, too. This isn't like a bullshit trip where we give
Well, we
one
put
away.
AMA's name on it, so it definitely is real.
Yeah, we give the trip away to Ray Downton, who never claims it mysteriously. This is real. If you want a 1 in 300 chance to win a trip to Thailand, 2 people. It's 1 in 100.
Ask Surveyor Brett. He is coming on the nation trip by winning it by eating Oodle Noodle.
That guy is so pumped too. So
He's pumped about everything.
If you're half as excited as Surveyor Brett to go to Thailand, then you're in for a treat. So yeah,
Imagine he
shout out
won
AMA
both.
because this is a crazy prize. This is a $5,000 prize that
Yeah.
they gave us.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, it's a partnership, obviously, but they are the trip provider. So like that's pretty fucking crazy to give away a prize
That's
that
dope.
luxury.
Yeah.
You get in the trip
5,500,
a round trip airfare for 2 departing from Edmonton or Calgary, landing in Bangkok, Thailand, which is an insane city. I love it. Economy domestic flight from Bangkok to Phuket, including taxes and fees. Round trip hotel. Transfers in both cities. 3 nights accommodation in Bangkok. 5-night accommodation in Phuket. Bangkok at night by tuk-tuk excursion. Half-day
that's
floating
cool.
market tour. Breakfast daily. And transfer to and from the airport.
That's as good as it gets.
Great trip.
I'm jealous already.
wanna win.
I want to go to Thailand right now.
Not right now.
I would go right now.
Would you?
Yeah. Full moon season, baby.
Oh yeah.
Have
So-
you been paying attention to the news?
Yes.
Do you really want to go there right now?
Traveling seems safe.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
it's
deals.
Yeah.
Oh, great deal.
I heard like deals anywhere on a plane about to hit. Like everything's going to be a deal.
Unless you're on a cruise ship. Fuck that shit.
See, I would be partially happy to be on a cruise ship for an extended.
It would be an honor to be quarantined on a cruise ship.
What happens to all those people? Like, there's an economic cost of this thing I don't understand. Like, if you're stuck on the Japanese Princess, Who pays your mortgage? Do you call your employer and you're like, hey, guess what? I'm on this cruise ship. And they're like, we don't care. We need you at the windows thing because of the sales. Like, can you find a way to get mortgage like relief from this?
I'd imagine there's some sort of insurance, right?
If you live in Wuhan and you're like, oh shit, I'm living paycheck to paycheck and now I can't go to my job for the next month.
Yeah.
How do I buy my eggs?
I feel like the whole economy there is just so fucked up that they'd have to understand, right?
But how? Like, how? If you have no money in your bank account because you haven't worked in 2 weeks, how do you go to the grocery store with 12 masks on and buy oranges? Like, there's got to be at some point, like, the economy has to restart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the government intervention.
It's amazing how fast China's moving. I know this has nothing to do with anything. But you see they made 4 hospitals?
Yeah, they're
I
like
saw
setting
that
it up
video.
in schools and stuff, aren't they?
If Edmonton had a pandemic, God forbid, and we were like, hey, we need to make a hospital, I feel like we'd be having design meetings 4 years later being like, where do we want to put the site? Everyone's dead.
And how many of these
I think they built 4
CCAN containers do we need?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're moving fast. 50 million people locked down. That's crazy, man.
Unbelievable.
Crazy. And yet Billie Eilish still found a way to make it to the Oscars.
And clean up at the Grammys. My girl Billie Eilish.
I'm not a big Billie Eilish fan.
It's because you're old, man. You're not young and hip like me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, maybe.
How about
Ed-
Eminem coming out of the floor? That made me feel young.
Man, Godzilla
Yes.
is a smasher.
That is a banger. R.I.P. Juice WRLD,
R.I.P.
allegedly.
Well, he's gone.
Yeah.
But
Not
did you like him
forgotten.
coming out of the floor? Do you see that at the thing?
I
It
didn't
was
see it.
weird.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. I actually went back and watched the acceptance speech from when he won for Lose Yourself 14 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And it was weird because obviously he wasn't there. So it was just some guy I didn't recognize going up and accepting the award.
Eminem tweeted it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. Eminem
Is that really Eminem or is that an Eminem clone? Your M-Chuck?
could be.
Paul McCartney is really dead. Ooh. Yeah, I didn't think I'd come at you with a Beatles conspiracy.
Eminem looks cloned to me. He looks very sober and possibly cloned.
He looks like the wax statue of what Eminem would look like as a wax statue.
He should re-dye his hair blonde.
Absolutely, but leave the beard black.
Ooh.
That'd be a look.
You know,
Or do reverse. Blonde beard, black up top.
and wear your shirt as pants and pants as a shirt.
Crisscross did it.
Lucic is going to take one of these suggestions.
I actually like how he was looking the other day. I was watching briefly the game, and like the roots are growing out. Luch looks like a well-dressed,
Oh,
high-paid.
he's scoring. He's got 2 goals this week, doesn't he?
Good. He needs to keep scoring.
Less that terrible.
Yes, that third round
I don't
pick.
want to give up the third rounder anymore.
Because he needs to be with what within 10 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Neil, here's another thing, man. Neil also needs to hit 21 for anything to happen. Neil's at 19 right now, and this injury is like, fuck.
What's he got?
Likely
Is it a
a
high
high
ankle
ankle
sprain?
sprain. Likely.
Hearing allegedly a high ankle sprain.
Bruised quadricep, I believe.
So that third round pick, man, that'd be nice. I'd take a third.
We should just roll the dice and trade that third round pick.
You can't.
For James Neal. Imagine that. He has 19 goals.
You do notice his absence on the power play.
For sure.
I know it scored a couple of times against the Predators, but you definitely notice it.
Jason's not as good in that spot.
No.
No.
He was the one who whiffed on the openest net in the world against Nash, right?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
What are
That
you
hurt.
doing?
That
Connor
hurt
on a
so much.
tee.
I could have finished that off. Probably not. Me and Dusty have had that debate a lot. Dusty thinks if you played him with McDavid for 82 games and on the power play, he thinks he could score like 10 goals in an NHL season.
Dusty Nielsen.
You know,
I think I could get one.
I could maybe get 1 or 2 if McDavid decided to bank a few off my skate.
well, that's the thing. Like, if you're the net front presence,
Eventually, you think you might just be able to chip one in.
I'm
yeah,
greasy.
definitely one. Dusty's a big, like, he's
a big unit.
He's a countryman. Like,
Man, but as soon as that puck is iced, your play has to be like stand at the blue line.
oh
until
yeah,
back
but
in,
it's like, yeah, full control in their zone has to be had.
5-on-5, you'd never score.
No
But
fucking
power
chance.
play, if everyone could set it up around you and you could just stand in front.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
got
I
a
think I
chance.
get one.
10 might be aggressive. Because Dusty's not like, he's got hands too, so maybe he can clean up fast.
But what do you think you get? You think you get? I'm saying I could get one.
Oh, yeah. I definitely think I could get one. Fuck.
Staying healthy would be a bit of a struggle too, honestly.
Well, you're just taking absolute abuse because, like,
Yeah.
not in shape, getting just
Well, yeah, just
cross-checked.
sucking wind up and down the ice.
Well, once again, this only applies
You know what,
if
I would-
you're in their zone.
I'd pass on the 5-on-5 play. I'd be like, listen, I know it's a part of the bet, but
Yeah.
I don't want it.
You're not going to score.
Yeah, I just
Save
want
your
the power
energy.
play time.
I've willed my way onto this 23-man roster through
Yeah.
a series of bets with my friends,
Yes.
and now I'm only playing power play time.
Yeah, you make your money off nipples.
Yeah.
We do it off Connor McDavid NHL bets. PP time.
And if you score, there's money on the board, a bunch of windows taped to the thing, too.
So you've had a heated debate. 10 goals, you think? I think I could get 5.
Power play all year on the Oilers.
If I played every power play, every one of them.
5,
And I'm out there for the full 90 seconds Connor is.
But Luch couldn't even do that.
Shit.
Right, and that's
Stop with your
blonde hair.
logic.
That's what I keep coming to.
Stop with your
'cause
logic.
There's a part of me is I'm with you guys in a sense where I'm like, you know what, I could probably bang on 5, just get to the back door and shit. But then I'm also like, they're passing that puck so fucking
I know,
hard,
and
man.
the defensemen are so good.
I think 5 is a stretch.
Have you ever played? I played in that Hockey Helps the Homeless.
Yeah.
I played one year with Regeers, and he was just 1 year out of the league. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
That guy was so good.
I played last year against Regeer and Dean McCammon in one game. Those guys haven't been in the league for a while now. And they're both you'll be scanning, you'll be all right, no one's around me. And then you'll just holy shit, where'd the puck go? I swear to God, it was just on my stick.
Yeah, maybe I can't score any. You got to think 1 off the butt or something.
I think 1. I think you'd have to set the over-under at 1.5. Because I think you could get 1, but I think getting a second at some point would be a real struggle.
God, I still want to take the over.
Yeah,
But it's because I'm just living in a dream world on sharing the
me
ice
too.
with Connor McDavid.
Well, all right. That's a decent spot to end the podcast, I think.
1's a real heater, though. If I go out and score 1 on the power play, I am on the heater of all heaters.
It's a true underdog story if you find the back of the net.
That's what I'm saying.
Why can't the Oilers do an open trial like the Philadelphia Eagles did? in
Where
that
Mark
movie?
Wahlberg and his third nipple showed up on the team.
All right.
Vinny Vivalli?
No, that's a Stern Show reference. That was the guy from
Oh, wow.
NBC. That was Oh My Debbie.
Whoops.
All right. Episode 158 of Real Life is over. Life without Connor begins now.
Oh,
Ooh, is that a dark way to...
I would say, yeah.
it's okay. No one's listening.
Great job on making it through the entire hour of the Real Life podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast from.